I know that there is this idea that pursuing beauty is a superficial waste of time, but I think this only comes from the fact that we forget what is real beauty. And sure, if you follow the trends and the forever changing standards around you, you will probably end up losing a lot of time, money, and energy into that trap. But if you pursue real beauty, like this inner feeling, inner guidance of harmony and truthfulness, this feeling inside of you will open so many doors that you cannot even imagine right now. And it had a big impact on my own life. I want to share with you today how it actually really changed my life and how it can change yours too if you dare to follow that weird path. First of all, I don't think that we can really cut beauty from our lives. I feel like the ones who try to do that, often out of shame or conditioning or bad experiences, are often miserable inside. For some reason, beauty seems useless and probably is, but we kind of need it in our soul, you know? So, as much as we want to make it shameful to pursue beauty, like it's superficial and it's like a little bit shameful, but openly or secretly, we will continue to be intrigued by it and to look for it because it's such a big part of who we really are inside. We are creation. From whatever you believe in, you have to admit that you are here, you exist, and you have been created by God, by nature, by your mom, whatever you want to call it or view it as, but you are here, you are creation. You have been created. At some point, you were not here, and now you are here. You have been created. This is the definition of a creation. Something that is not here, something that we just think about, and at some point, it's here, it's existing, and people can touch it and use it and talk with it, and So there is a truth in beauty that anyone can feel. We will always be moved by beauty and inspired by it, and our soul will always need it. We cannot just get rid of it, just forget about it. Just saying to someone, don't focus on your beauty, don't focus on your appearance. Let go, don't think about beauty. This is superficial. Focus on something else. It's not enough. I mean, the only thing that it will create in them, it's a shame for their own deep desire. It will only create more separation and more self-rejection. If we want to take back control, we cannot just try to forget about beauty, try to forget about trends, try to forget about appearance. If we really want to take back control, we need to redefine what it is for us. It's like if tomorrow there is no real food anymore, like the only thing available is some industrial crap, and there is no real tomatoes or cucumbers anymore, just industrial packaged things, and you start eating that, and then for generations and generations people forget what is a real fruit, what is real food anymore. People will still continue eating. They will eat crap. They will not stop eating just because the real food is not available anymore. They need to eat. And generations after generations, people will forget what was real food even looking like, smelling like, tasting like. But then all it takes is one person to remember. One person to take an ugly shaped tomato grown under the sun and say, please trust me and try it. I know it looks ugly, it seems ugly, but if you really look at it, you really understand that this is this is a real fruit, and you really taste it, feel it. You cannot help but falling in love with it because the first time that you eat a real tomato, and maybe it even happened in your own life, it's like, wow, I didn't know that that was a taste of a tomato. And in that moment, whatever the ugliest shape the tomato seemed to be in for you, if you never saw a tomato before, except the industrial want, can't, or whatever, you will think that this is the most beautiful thing ever. And you will look for it. And you will not be able to forget about it. And this is exactly the same with real beauty. When I started pursuing beauty, I started understanding that I can trust myself about beauty. I have inner guidance to what is real beauty. The same way a person who never ate a tomato before, first time that is eating the real tomato is knowing inside of himself that this is the truth of a tomato, that this is good for me, this feels good for me, this feels real, this feels divine and sacred. I don't think that beauty is so subjective as we pretend it to be. I believe there is a subjectivity to our perceptions, yes, but I believe there is a truth and an objectivity to beauty. It's proportions and symmetry, and I can evaluate it, and it's also triggering similar responses. Whatever the culture or the person, seeing a baby, seeing a flower, seeing the sunset, it will trigger same responses. And the response is often that we go silent and we start slowing down. Whether it's a monk entering a temple or it's an influencer entering an art gallery. Or it's a kid looking at you on the street and stopping to play for a moment to follow you with his eyes silently because he's seeing something so beautiful for the first time. Or even a drug dealer looking at his girl crush, like the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. We are suddenly going quiet. We are humbling ourselves because we recognize that we are seeing something sacred. It triggers the same response because beauty is beauty and you have an inner guidance inside of you. And so I started trusting myself. Even if I'm not Muslim, when I enter a beautiful mosque, I can feel it. I can feel that energy inside of me. I have that measurement inside of me. And so what I see that is not beautiful in myself, there is a part of self perception that I can work on, but there are also some truths to that. And they are just showing me the part of me that have been rejected or that are still in separation from what I really am, which is everything. And instead of continuing to identify over and over again with my flaws, I started realizing that they are not me. I started refusing to believe that this is me, that the 10 more kilos is me, that the double chin is me. I started refusing, which I know is weird because it doesn't seem like the self love that we learn about. But it brought me so much closer to myself because I started to see what I am and what I am not. And if I see something ugly, it cannot be me because I am a creation. I'm beautiful. I have been made beautiful. So the ugly in me is just a path to follow, something to transform, to shine my real light. By pursuing beauty, I also had to ask myself, what are you really looking for? What are you really searching for? Why do you want beauty? Why do you want to feel beautiful? Why it's so important to you? And sure, I found a lot of limiting beliefs. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to feel special. Just to feel that I exist. Just to feel that I cannot be abandoned anymore. There was some bad reason, let's say, to why I wanted a better appearance and why I started this path. But by pursuing real beauty, I started realizing that and working on those. And it changed so much more than just my appearance. It changed my self perception, my identities, my self knowledge. And eventually, I stopped forcing and fixing and chasing. And I saw that beyond the limiting beliefs, there was also a real search for beauty in my life in general. My soul was craving beauty in all of the things that I was doing really. Like I wanted more money because eventually I wanted to put more beauty into my life. I wanted to go in a nice coffee shop and pay more for the same coffee just because this moment, surrounded with beauty and the smell of the coffee and the place and the colors and the care that someone took put into and creativity that someone put into this place made me feel reunited with beauty and with who I was and with God for a minute. And it was all worth it. Even now that I left social media and I have nothing to prove to anyone, no photo to take, I still go to the cute coffee shop and not the ugly one. It has a value to me. And it's also what I learned and what I took from it, that it's useless, but it still has such a value to me that I'm ready to pay more for it. It's useless and still it has the most value. And so I allowed myself to be beautiful in that sense also, that I can be useless today and still I can be valuable to this life and the people around me. I have the freedom to be useless, and it's totally okay. It doesn't remove anything from who I really am, which was a beautiful realization for me. Pursuing beauty made me start massaging my face and discover self devotion, being passionate about myself, being intentional with myself, seeing myself as sacred. I started understanding the power of getting out of my head and really shaping with my own hands, really embodying, not trying to manifest more things into my life just as a way to accumulate and feel safe and compensate for the things that I feel I'm lacking, but coming back to my body, which was until now really just a vehicle for my head. It's funny. My body was just moving me around from places to places and rooms to rooms and countries to countries. There was no other use for my body than that. When I think about it now, it's so funny. Pursuing beauty made me release the trauma that was stuck in my head, my face, my body, my shoulders. I didn't even know those trauma were there, honestly. And this also ended up switching my eating habits. This changed the relationship that I was having with myself. Like I stopped loving myself like a controlling parent who always want to control, to decide, to direct, to restrict, to push. I started actually listening, having compassion for my body, including it into the decision making. This is an example of a real conversation that happened between my mind and my body, for example. My mind was like, at some point,
Okay, we need to be friends. And I know I've pushed you too much. I've pushed you to go to the gym every day for the last months, and I know you don't even like it. And you know what? From now on, we don't even need to go if you don't want to. But I feel like you should move because it will be good for you to going outside, meeting new people. So just tell me, what do you really want to do with your time, buddy?
and my body was like,
Hmm. You know what? Thank you for listening because yeah, I actually don't like the gym, but I love dancing. Could we maybe take some dancing lessons?
and my mind was like,
Yeah, sure, I want to look into it. Why not? It seems fun. But you know what? We still have a subscription to the gym. Should we use it and just look for the different class that they offer? Maybe something will be cool to try in the meantime.
and my body was like,
Yeah, why not? We can check. Maybe they even have some dance lesson.
and my mind checked, and my mind was like,
They don't have dance lesson, but they have Pilates. What do you think about that?
and my body was like,
I actually always wanted to try that, but you always blocked me because you were like, this is a trendy girl thing that we will not even like, and You never got us a chance to try, so I'm happy that you offered.
And my mind was like,
God, sounds like something I would say. But you know what? I cannot promise that I will like it, but I enjoy spending time with you anyway, so let's actually just try it. Um, in the worst case, I end up practicing my German there.
and my body was like,
Amazing. Let's go.
and that's how I discovered Pilates. And that's how I love it now. And I ended up not registering to any dance class because I just love Pilates. So this changed everything for me. Just this inner dialogue, which now I, of course, created for you because in my mind it's just some, like, little electronic shocks in my brain, probably. And I don't even hear the dialogue really, but I know what's happening. And I know it sounds weird, but really this way of talking to myself and this discussion between my mind and my body was really a big shift in my life and changed a lot of things. And lastly, pursuing beauty made me stop chasing and comparing to fake ones. I left social media also partly because I was not having any interest anymore to prove myself or overshare. It was not adding any beauty to my life, and I recognized that this is what I was looking for. So I was like, this is not helping me. This is not serving me. I scroll, I had a bad posture. If anything, it's removing my beauty, not creating anything beautiful into my life. I stopped thinking that I was too lazy, not disciplined enough, and I had to do more, be more, create more, buy more. I stopped viewing beauty as a life project where I had to always improve my wardrobe, myself. Pursuing real beauty made me feel free and arrived. Like always improving myself. Of course, I'm a human. Pursuing real beauty made me feel free and weirdly arrived. Like I could actually pause, stop, and feel that I'm already there. Beauty is already there for me to grab because it's the core of who I am. And even if it's not a linear process at all, I could really feel a shift where at some point I could really view myself as beautiful. A clear moment where this was all behind me. So I hope this channel can guide you through that path too. Because real beauty is such a fascinating, deep topic connected to a lot of things that you actually experience and struggle with right now. And I know that once you start pursuing and following, going back to beauty, to who you are, pursuing real beauty, you will discover so much more than you can imagine. So much faith and freedom and self discovery and liberation. Babe, I know you got this. See you in the next one.